Hi, it's Nick from the Run Testers. In this video I'm going to be comparing the Nike Tempo Next Percent and the Nike Zoom Fly 4. So both of these shoes sit within Nike's range as kind of plated training shoes, kind of partners to the top flight racing shoes like the Vaporfly and the Alphafly. They're meant to be fast shoes in and of themselves, using some of the tech you'll find on those kind of super shoes, but also durable and more versatile in that you can use them for a lot of daily training as well. When you look at some of the key stats of the shoe, the Tempo is the pricier shoe. It's £170 in the UK or $200 in the US, whereas the Zoom Fly is £145 in the UK or $160 in the US. Neither are lightweights, but the Tempo is the lighter of the two shoes. It's 277 grams in my UK size 9, which is 9.8 ounces, whereas the Zoom Fly is 289 grams, or 10.2 ounces. The Zoom Fly has a 8mm drop, and the Tempo has a 10mm drop. Now, when it comes to the design of the shoe, there's a lot going on with the Tempo Next Percent. Start with the upper, you've got this kind of booty design. It's a kind of fly knit. It's a bit fairly rigid mesh. It's not too stretchy, but it's a nice comfortable hold on the run. Then the midsole, you've got two kinds of foam. You've got React foam at the heel here, this section. Then you've got Zoom X foam here, the top class PIBA stuff on the Vaporfly and Alphafly. And then you've got Air Zoom pods under the forefoot, which is the same as on the Alphafly, designed to give a slightly firmer feel, more propulsion to your toe off. There's also a carbon composite plate that runs from kind of the start of the coloured strip all the way through to the forefoot. So it's not a full length plate, but it does cover the part from your kind of midfoot to the forefoot to give you a nice explosive toe off. The outsole rubber is looks like a similar design to the Alphafly with a lot on the front and these two strips on the back, but it's kind of bulked out a bit, and it's a slightly different rubber to the Alphafly to be more durable. When it comes to Zoom Fly, you have got a little bit of fly in it, but it's kind of just this little booty around the collar and this kind of, I say gusted tongue, but it's basically another upper underneath this kind of top breathable mesh layer. You've almost got like a two-layer system going on here with this kind of elevated lacing over the booty, which creates a sock style fit. It is a very comfortable fit, and it really does get a nice look down around the midfoot, but it's quite a lot going on. I would say also there's a bit of cushioning around here. It's like that kind of strip you get on the Vaporfly, but a bit more built up, and that's a little bit more cushioning than you get on the heel of the Tempo, which again just has a kind of strip around there to protect the Achilles. Now the midsole on the Zoom Fly is all React, so that's the foam used in the heel of the Tempo Next Percent. The whole midsole is React foam in here. There's no Zoom X at all, which is a bit of a shame. That's a kind of lighter, springier foam. React is good, it's durable, it's hardy, it works very well on easy day shoes, things like the Pegasus and the Infinity Run React, but yeah, it's bit denser, not quite as poppy as Zoom X. You have got a full-length carbon plate in the Zoom Fly 4 though, which is in theory a slight upgrade to the carbon composite half plate you get on the Tempo Next Percent. Then the outsole follows more like the Vaporfly style really. You've got the nice forefoot coverage, two strips at the back, and then a fair bit of exposed foam, but it's React foam. Like I say, it's pretty durable stuff. Both of these shoes were true to size for me. I wore my normal size. I'd say maybe the Tempo is a little bit tighter than the Zoom Fly up top in particular. But yeah, I was perfectly happy going true to size in both. And I really think the fit of the Zoom Fly is really nice actually. With this lacing system, you get a good lockdown hold in a very comfortable way. But in general, both are very good. No heel slippage and yeah, comfortable shoes in my normal size. So I've used every generation of the Zoom Fly, but when it comes to these two shoes, it was the Tempo Next Percent I used first. I actually took it straight out of the box to a track session, and it really blew me away. I had a very, very good first experience with the Tempo Next Percent. I was running two sets of 2K at 320 pace, followed by 5 400-meter reps in each set, and just rolled for it really comfortably, and then it just kicked on in that last 400. I was feeling so good and ran like a 60-second rep, just to kind of see what it would feel like at that, even higher paces, and it felt really good. Like, it's a big, awkward-looking shoe. It is large. The stack is very large. I think it's technically too high a stack to race in the men's size. It's got such a high stack at the back there, but it can really move, and you do feel a propulsive, bouncy feeling in this shoe, thanks to that kind of Zoom X foam, and then the AirPods provide that firm toe off. it feels a lot better for me when you are running at pace. I will say that, because I've done quite a lot of easy running in this shoe, and I just don't like it that much of that, because it is quite an awkward ride. It's quite intrusive. With all the different foams and tech going on, it does kind of intrude onto your running gait a little bit. And I also found, actually, after a couple of runs in it, I had like tighter kind of hammies and other parts of the body than I would normally after a run of that length. So I did use it for one long run, but I quite quickly retired it from that. Those kind of easy long runs, I just don't think it's ideally suited for, just because it is a slightly awkward shoe that I think has a little bit of an effect on your body. Well, it does for me anyway with my running style. But yeah, like I say, the ride is certainly a surprise. I dug it out today to use for a kind of an easy run, just to kind of remind myself of it for this Versus video. Just notably bouncy and like fun feeling when you first step into the shoe, and it really does help you run a bit faster. It's a shoe that runs a lot lighter than its weight. I definitely would say that about it. And I'm saying that because it's the exact opposite of the Zoomfly, which runs its weight, or I'd say even heavier. Like, it's got a much more normal ride, probably a more stable and natural ride. It's got a slightly firmer feel underfoot, and you certainly don't get that kind of change of foam density that you do with the Tempo. Whereas as a heel striker, I moved from the React foam to the Zoom X foam to the AirPods. This doesn't have that. It's all the same foam with a plate, and you get probably a slightly more natural feeling transition, but it's not very fast and it's not very poppy. I also took this straight out of the box to a session where I was doing 2 sets of 3K at 320 with hill reps in between, and the shoe just didn't feel good at those kind of paces. So it's kind of around half marathon pace on the 3K reps, and then obviously going all out on the hill reps, and it just feels big and lethargic on the foot. The way it's constructed, it feels very bottom heavy. The pickup isn't great on it, and you just do feel the weight of it. And even once you get going, I found it very hard to get into a rhythm with the Zoomfly when I was running at pace. However, when I did do kind of easy runs and long runs in it, I did find it a shoe that was okay. Like, the easy runs, it's not great still. I don't necessarily want a carbon plate in my shoe for them, and it is still quite big and quite a firm feeling midsole with the carbon plate and that React foam. But on a long run, where I wasn't going all out easy, but it was a pretty easy run, just running on feel, I did finally click with the shoe and got into a nice rhythm. And I did enjoy it for that. Like, I think it's quite a nice long run shoe. Might be quite a good long distance racer for some people. Nowhere near the standards of things like the Vaporfly or the Alphafly, but a solid enough option if you don't want to spend big money on those shoes. I want something that is a bit more versatile to use for training as well. But yeah, I do think with both of these shoes kind of slipping in the fast training kind of category, the Tempo Next Percent, in my running experience, certainly delivered on that. It's a very fast shoe, an unexpectedly fast shoe given the size and weight of it. Whereas the Zoomfly just doesn't have a great ride to it, I don't think. It's a bit kind of dead. It doesn't really help you either push off on kind of fast, poppy reps or help you sustain a pace on longer reps. It's almost a shoe that I would use more as a general daily trainer for kind of easy runs, maybe up to tempo runs. Whereas this can do it all. I don't love the way it feels on kind of easy runs and stuff like that, but it really shines when you are running fast, and you do get more of a super shoe style feel to your run, basically, because you have got that foam in there and the AirPods, and they do all contribute to a quite an explosive feeling on the run. So you've got two kind of plated trainers here, fast training shoes with some of the tech from super shoes. Neither quite nails it in terms of that category. I will say that. I think Nike struggles a bit in this category when you look at the competition from things like the Saucony Endorphin Speed, the New Balance Fuel Cell TC. But when you are just looking at these two shoes, the Tempo Next Percent is certainly the faster shoe for me. It's a shoe, I think, that brings more of a super shoe feel to your kind of daily training with the more impressive Zoom X foam and the kind of more, I guess, elaborate ride it has, the more explosive, bouncy ride. Whereas the Zoomfly doesn't really feel like that much at all. Like, you have to work quite hard to feel the plate in it because that React foam is kind of so dense. And even then, you don't get a huge amount of pop out of it, I find. I just enjoyed it more as a kind of regular cruising shoe, and there are loads of shoes that kind of fit that category really well and better than the Zoomfly. So if you are looking for a fast trainer from Nike, my recommendation would definitely be the Tempo Next Percent. It is obviously a bit more geared towards people who might use the Alphafly. It's a bit more similar to the Alphafly with those Air Zoom pods, but definitely if you're looking for a Nike rotation with the Vaporfly or Alphafly, I would say the Tempo is the better shoe. However, there's a case maybe for the Zoomfly. If you're just picking between these and want more versatility, I'd say I'd probably be happier logging a lot of daily training in this shoe than I would necessarily in this shoe. I think this is a faster shoe, but this did feel good on long runs. I think you could flog it to death. This will last a long time. You could do a lot of different training in it. It won't be the best for fast training, but it's not terrible either. You can get by with it, and I think it probably does a better job as a kind of all-rounder for those who have like just one shoe in their rotation. If you do have more than one shoe, then I'd be getting the Tempo. I would get this, pair it with something like the Vaporfly or Alphafly, and then a more natural feeling cushion shoe to kind of take care of more easy miles and base miles, saving this kind of for faster workouts, that kind of thing. So yeah, neither shoe really absolutely nails it. I will say that again. There are definitely options from other brands I'd probably be picking ahead of these, but the Tempo Next Percent is a fun shoe. It is a fast shoe. It is an interesting shoe. It's, you know, it won't work for everyone just because it is slightly a natural ride, but it does deliver more, I think, on the promise that Nike gives with these shoes, which is to bring super shoe tech to your daily training, whereas Zoomfly just feels like a pretty standard shoe, and the plate doesn't seem to make a huge difference for me. That's it, guys. That's our kind of comparison of the Tempo Next Percent and the Zoomfly 4. This is a category that, like I said, I don't think Nike has absolutely nailed yet, the fast trainer, but I have high hopes for next year. Hopefully they're going to be bringing out a lot more shoes, maybe bringing back something like the Pegasus Turbo, or just putting some ZoomX foam in the Zoomfly. But a lot of things they could do. Hopefully they will do that, and we'll have a really good trainer that will compete with the likes of the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2. Anyway, let us know what you think of these two shoes. Please like, subscribe, ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.